Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Saturday. We're here to do our weekly wrap-up. I'm Tom Brush. This is Bob Graham, and this is today's Antidote, where we try to provide that one thing to help you move forward, whether today, tomorrow, or sometime in the future. And our Saturday edition is usually wrapping up the week. And so because sometimes we record it, we're in the same clothes as we were in Friday, if you were paying attention. And if not, just forget that and we'll move forward. This week, that was maybe a little bit of self-sabotage. I don't know, delaying the inevitable. Self-sabotage was our conversation this week, our topic. You know, and I think it's an interesting topic we all deal with. We talked a little bit about what it is, what causes it, how our ego gets involved. I think that's important, how it affects us. You know, and then coming to terms with it was yesterday. And I think there are some big pieces of how do we deal with it, and then how do we come to terms with it. And I think that it's something, as we discussed all week, it's something that all of us deal with in very different ways, but it still is impactful and usually leaves us stuck. So as you look at the week, Bob, what are some of the things you think of?
You know, what comes to mind for me, one, this is a fairly pervasive problem. I heard from a lot of people this week, like, oh, yeah, I've been really listening. That's exactly me. That's so like me. We even had someone who commented the other day, I'm exactly like Bob. I was sharing a story, and it was like exactly it. So that's one thing. The other thing is it doesn't go away. I've talked to people that are really successful, and I've talked to people who are really starting out, and they're all experiencing it. It's not like you reach a certain point, and when your checking account gets that 7 zeros, suddenly you're no longer having these issues. It stays with you. And I think that's something that scares me, but gives me comfort.
Yeah, I think one of the things that was cool about a little bit was identifying what it was at the start of the week. And I think that was not an easy discussion. And I think it was those things that keep us from doing what we want to do, what we need to do, what we know is the next thing we should be doing. And yet for some reason, we're uncertain about it. And, you know, that for me was helpful in sort of thinking about like, all right, what is the big takeaway from that? And it was really around judgment, and that us being either worried about how we judge what we're going to do, how somebody else might judge what we do, is slowing us down because we are worried about being right and not being wrong. And that judgment, you know, which we can't ever really figure out. You know, one of the things I shared one of the days was like, look, you won't know the results until you do it. And I think so often we want to not do anything unless we're absolutely certain we're going to get the results we're looking for.
Don't get into results, because that's our topic next week, Tom. Don't do it. I'm not going to let you. La, 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 la.
I think it's the results, though, that it's the being worried about being judged on what the results are that we internalize and try to figure out, like, man, what are they going to say? What's somebody going to do? How am I going to react? How's it going to make me look? That I think slows us down and makes us have pause of whether we should move forward or not.
I think, Tom, the biggest highlight of the week, and let's just come out and say it, you know it and I know it, was when I sang a couple lines from Seasons of Love from the Rent musical. And
okay.
No, I'm not going to do it again.
All right. That was your one thing. That was the highlight. That's fair. That was what was real for you. And what was real for me, because we all know that we all have things that what's real is going to be unique for each and every one of us. And I think that's an important thing to remember, is that it's not right or wrong. It's just real. And we do it and we learn from it and we try to understand what are we taking away and how does that influence what's a part of who and what we are. And I liked our discussion I think it was Friday, about, that each little piece of input is just a drop. Mm-hmm. And it may cause a big wave, or it may cause just a tiny ripple. But either way, it has some influence on what is real for us. And I think how we allow those bits of information, those experiences, that knowledge, the perspective to influence what is real for us can sometimes reduce the need to just beat ourselves up about, somebody commented that my presentation stunk, and that really threw me for a loop and made me worry about the next time I was going to go on stage.
I think that's great, Tom. I think, the more we can have some semblance of control over how we react to those things, the better off it is. Whether it's really great or really horrible, trying to be in the middle could be better, because I tend to be someone who gets really excited with praise and gets really depressed by lack of praise. So if I can try to find the middle ground all the time and be like, oh, okay, Tom said something great about what I did. Someone else said something else. Okay, that evens out. And I think that's a math I try to do in my head. And the other thing that really strikes me, Tom, is I'm constantly, more and more, I'm trying to focus on what I know I'm trying to achieve. And not everyone understands that. Not everyone cares. Not everyone sees it the way I see it. So I've got to go and find the people that my message, that my mission resonates with. And they're going to be the ones who go, oh, this is awesome.
Right. If we can trust that every step is not going to be perfect, every action is not going to be perfect, it's going to be some semblance of a reaction or a result. How do we then
discovery?
And a discovery. Right. It's more knowledge, information, knowledge, experience, and perspective.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. That allows us to move forward. And if we start to look at it that way, that's my one big thing, is that if we just look at it as information that we can now process into what's real for us, maybe we won't be as worried about the being judged on what happens.
All right, Tom, wrap this puppy up, because we're trying to keep it short and sweet today.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for joining us this week. If you have thoughts about self-sabotage, or you have one takeaway you want to share, please put it in the comments, because what we have found is that that's beneficial for all of us. To not only that we hope to just start the pot and let others come in and share what's real for them, so that we all might benefit. And if you're enjoying this conversation, and maybe others,
mean start the pot like, no. Sorry.
I wonder if I can edit that out. Anyhow, stir the pot.
Okay.
All right. Where are we? It is Saturday morning. If you enjoyed those conversations, not the ones about smoking pot, but stirring the pot, please join us in the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search for Ring of Renegades. It's a private group, so you just have to ask to join. Tell us why you're a renegade. So thanks, Bob, for a great week of conversation up until that last little bit about smoking pot. And we will see all of you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or back here on Monday morning for the next edition of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Carving your own path is tough. You want and need a community to offer you insights and advice, share inspiration, provide support, and save you time and money. But where do you find all that? Here's the easy answer: the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, where leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners identify their next steps. Here's some of what you will find at the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. Just go to ringofrenegades.com and join today. Find and accomplish those next steps.